Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, A to Z Sports proudly brings to you your morning show champion of the world, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Good morning, good people. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling good. Y'all probably like, why he come in with that? I just got done watching the documentary not so long ago. But hey, today I got 3 defensive players that I think will play a major factor in the Cowboys defense maintaining, at the very least, some success. So stick around for that. We're going to play a little bust or best. I'll explain a little bit later, okay? In the roundup, we got some rookies who signed some more contracts to get under the roster spot, and then the UDFA spotlight. So we'll get back to doing those, and I think this one is very interesting because he plays a position that I think Dallas could use, and we'll talk about that position here today. Yeah, my bad for coming in, with some of the D-Generation X intro there, New Age Outlaws. I just got done watching Monday Night Wars again, and I just kind of got back into that bag. So I promise y'all I won't do that every day. Maybe. But shout out to the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
I see y'all in the building. Iceberg Q, Toxic Tom, Mark Smith, TC915, Kel Randall was good, Chris, Big Sarge, Stephen White, Anthony Moore, Jeremy Parker. Who else got in here? Joseph Sandberg, Adam Mack, Gregory was good, Joe the Gooner, Professor O, salute. Timo over on Facebook. What up? Hey, we got the Truth MDP, Sean Moyer, Matt Goddix was good. Mackenzie, two-time. Chuck P over on Facebook as well. Antoine Swain, the Guru in the building. Danny Savage, C. Burleson, Alpha Mason. He says, good morning, Flywalker. What up, chat? Y'all got to tune in with me and Vosh. That's hilarious inside joke there. Grant Rain 2H or H2O, my bad. Nick Mims and Jake the Great. I see more folks coming through. We got Brian Bradsford, Cajun Cowboy, CJ Richards. Keep on coming through, y'all, as this thing builds up. Got a good show lined up today. The Truth MDP said, I promise you I'll do that every day. Maybe, man. Seriously. I don't think I'm going to do it every day, but New Age Outlaw is one of my favorite tag teams of all time. Because, see, real quick, if you don't mind. I think Road Dogg is one of the most underrated on the mic. We always talk about Ric Flair, and rightfully so, right? Ric Flair, The Rock, Y2J, legends. But Road Dogg is a legend on that mic. I promise you. As we let this room fill up, good news, Mavericks fans. If you're going to the game on Sunday, I'll be there. So if you see me, let's kick it for a little bit. Have a good time. I will be up in the building, though. What's up, Henry Jenkins? James Buchanan. Called me unpopular opinion. You called in yesterday. Was that you that called in yesterday? I think it was. Appreciate you, man. Henry Jenkins says the Road Warriors. Come on, man. God, I love the Road Warriors. One of my favorite, too. Yeah, we know Stephen White. You're a party pooper. Marcus Flores says, yo, Sky, tell me why I was thinking about jobbers who were nice on the mic. Road Dogg ain't no jobber, but he is a legend on that mic. He's a legend on that mic. All right, Felipe, what's up, man? All the way from France. What's good, bro? My man Lee in the building. Let's jump into the roundup, and then we'll come out of that. And I had a lot on my mind yesterday in regards to this defense, which is the reason why this topic came up today.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
Time time. It's time.
It is time for
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Yes, indeed. The morning roundup presented by Texas Family Fitness, a solution for your fitness goals. More than just a fitness club, they provide the tools and the resources you need to achieve your goals. So strive for progress, not perfection. Hit up any of the 13 different locations in the DFW area or visit TexasFamilyFitness.com. We got a quick roundup today. Not a whole lot of news came out of yesterday's Cowboys, docket. The wire was kind of quiet. But one thing that did drop was that Sam Williams and Jalen Tolbert did sign their rookie contracts. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Even if they didn't, they're allowed to participate in OTAs, rookie mini camps, and all that good stuff. But you want to get them under contract for obvious reasons. And Sam did. Jalen did. Only person that didn't, ironically, is the guy we talked about yesterday, Jake Ferguson. Michael Gelkin tweeted yesterday, Jake Ferguson, a fourth-round pick, is the team's only rookie draft choice still yet to sign. Sam Williams, Jalen Tolbert signed their deals yesterday, the team announced. Again, this isn't anything out of the ordinary. Rounds 2 to 4 in the CBA, they have a little bit more wiggle room to negotiate. And, players, agents are just doing their job. I think this thing will get done by the end of the week. Don't see it being too much of a deal. And we're picking up the undrafted free agent spotlight again. And today it's linebacker Aaron Hansford from Texas A&M. Interesting player. I had to, once I went in and dug deep on him, because again, I didn't know Aaron Hansford prior to him signing with the Cowboys. I'm not Dane Brugler, who I will read, who knows about 500 of these draft eligible players. He knows their mama and them. But here's why I think he's interesting. My man's like 24 years old, 25 years old. He's a super senior because of the COVID situation and a couple red shirts and injuries, etc. But he was a tight end and a wide receiver for 3 years at Texas A&M before he got injured in 2018. Then he switched to linebacker, and eventually he elected to use that extra year of eligibility due to COVID and came back for his sixth season at Texas A&M. I mean, you don't hear too many stories like that. I know the BYU kid we talked about last week jokingly, he's like 27 or something crazy. But Hansford ain't far off. He's another Senior Bowl guy the Cowboys coveted, and they elected to go after him as the draft came to an end. So let me read off what Dane Brugler had to say about Hansford leading up to the draft, man. After 3 years as a wide receiver in College Station, he moved to linebacker in 2019, became a starter in 2020, when Anthony Hines opted out and led the Aggies in tackles as a super senior in 2021. Here's what he has to say about his ability. Hansford has the athletic traits to drop and cover large areas of space due to his agile feet and smooth redirect skills. He's still working through the mental aspect of the position to stay ahead of the play. However, his improvements as a blitzer and cover man are encouraging. Overall, Hansford needs to hone his play recognition and finishing skills, but he is a rangy run and hit athlete who showed steady development on defense. He projects as a backup outside linebacker with starting upside in the traits for special teams. An overwhelmingly consistent trait you keep hearing, I think, from all these backers and really just defenders in general when it comes to some of the skill guys is athletic. Traits, run, hit. You keep hearing that from the stories, from the Bells, the Hansfords, right? And it's pretty clear to me that Quinn wanted to get a bunch of guys at the tail end of the draft or undrafted free agents that could move and see if he can find something that sticks. And when it comes to Harper and Hansford and Story and Bell and all these guys, these are those type of dudes. Wanye is another one we'll talk about as a spotlight. But these are those type of dudes. One of these undrafted, I got a feeling one of these undrafted linebackers or safeties, whichever you want, they're going to get a shot to crack the roster, man. Because that room is not, we talked about it, there's not much depth. But if they don't show anything, I could see the Cowboys signing a couple veterans. I can. That is this morning's roundup presented by Texas Family Fitness. The Truth MDP says Sky special teams competition is going to be fire. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Kel said 27. Brandon Whedon, yes. Brandon Whedon, and I always go back even further. Chris Winkie. Chris Winkie was first for me, and then Brandon Whedon came along. But Winkie was damn near 30 years old. He might have been 30. He went and played baseball or whatever, won a national championship with Florida State. I want to say was it Peter Warrick years? Or are we two? Was Peter Warrick before that? But I remember Chris Winkie specifically at Florida State. My uncle's a big-time Florida State fan. But he came into the league. I think he went to the Panthers, and he was 28, 29 years old. Brandon Whedon, very similar. Played at Oklahoma State. Baseball, came back, and then we all know Jerry Jones. I think Brandon Whedon has one of the best arms I've ever seen. Excuse me, what? Okay. Danny said he was a 27-year-old rookie. Okay, appreciate you. So apparently, we got a troll in here again. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm about to just start taking that as a compliment. Because if trolls are coming into a Dallas Cowboys morning show at 8:32 a.m. Central Time, 9:30 Eastern Time, that's a compliment. That's a compliment to this show. That's a compliment to you guys. I take it. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. That's how I feel about these trolls, man. That's how I feel about them. All right, let's kind of get into today's show of what I want to talk about here. And that's, as you can see down here, defense will need key veterans to step up. They will. I think when we talk about this team early on, there's a sense of confidence from the defense, at least for me. There's a sense of confidence from the defense. The offense, a lot of questions, but defensively, we feel pretty good for a number of reasons. You got the loss, the plus minus on that side of the ball was a lot less. You didn't lose as many players. You retained some of the important players. You got one of the best players in the league, not just offense, defense, but one of the best players in the league in Micah Parsons. Dan Quinn is returning, right? Dan Quinn and his whole entire staff. We talked about how important it was to get back the secondaries coach, Joe Witt Jr. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times, can't get fooled again. Joe Witt, everywhere he's been, has been a major impact in regards to getting turnovers for his secondary. But the defense, to me, to show that it can be a year-to-year consistent good defense, it's going to have to fight some history, y'all. It's going to have to fight some history, and it's going to have to rely on some former high draft picks, I think, to maintain that level of play. I think it is. What is the history? Well, Dallas in general has not put together consistently stellar defenses, because some people will say, oh, Scott, they were 11th in total defense, in scoring defense in one year, and then they were 8th the next. Context, number one. Number two, we talk about the pillars of a defense. What makes a consistently good defense? Scoring defense is important, but where is it? Turnovers is important, right? Third down, red zone defense, all these things. There's a lot of things that go into a consistently good defense that isn't necessarily just one thing. But the other history that they'll be fighting is the regression to the mean in said turnover category, in overall defense. Because Dallas wasn't just great at turning the ball over. They were great at getting off the field on third down. That's not something that really sticks from year to year. And it was brought up earlier in the offseason about that, specifically the turnovers. But it kind of resurfaced yesterday on Twitter. And I thought it was very interesting to bring it back up today. Right? Dallas is probably not going to be that kind of turnover team again. it doesn't happen that way in back-to-back years. I mean, this is just from 2016 to 2019, teams that had over 30 turnovers and what they did the next year. But all you got to go back to is the Cowboys. The last time the Dallas Cowboys had 30 turnovers, what happened the next year? It was in 2014. I remember it vividly. The turnovers hid a very suspect defense. I don't think the defense last year was suspect. I think the defense in 2014 was suspect. They were second in the NFL in turnovers with 31. The very next year, they were dead last with 11. Now, let me say this. I definitely don't think it will be that big of a regression, that big of a drop-off defensively, whether it be in the turnover department or overall. I don't think you'll see the Cowboys have that kind of regression. But I think in order not to have that kind of regression, they're going to have to rely on a few of these veterans, yo. At all different levels of the defense, with the high pedigree to be a key part of not regressing. And in all honesty, I think some of these dudes are going to have to play the best balls of their career. Seriously. And that's saying something for a couple of these dudes that we're going to talk about today, Cowboys Nation. But that's why today we'll play a little game of bust or best. And what I mean is, when we talk about these guys at the end, I want y'all to let me know if they will bust out in 2022 or will they play their best ball. Again, that's a tricky one because some of these dudes might already did it, but we're going to need them to be close to best ball as opposed to being a bust. Who y'all arguing with in here? Jermaine says Romo got hurt in 2015. Romo did get hurt, but Romo don't play defense. Sky, our whole defense this year is going to look like running missiles out there. Watch. Man, I'm excited about this defense. Again, I think we can agree that I think the defense is the most confident part of the team this year. And I think it has to do with, not losing certain players over there and retaining certain players. And then we trust the coaching. It's a lot that goes into it, right? Like I trust Dan Quinn more than I trust Kellen. And I think you have one of the best players in the entire National Football League on that side of the ball. So, Joe says, hope the defense steps up because offense is going to regress. That's why I think the defense is going to be needed here. It's absolutely going to be needed. I'm ignoring my guy. Chase said Diggs 15 interceptions. Nah, that ain't happening. But here's the beautiful thing about the defense. I don't think you need them to be 34 turnovers or whatever the hell it was last year. You don't need them to be that. I don't need them to be number one in third down defense. Don't need them to be that. If the regression is slight, if they're top 10 in all these categories, I think you'll have a really good defense. A really good defense. The offense is going to be key in helping them too, like it was last year, though. Getting these leads, having the pass rush be able to pin its ears back and go get it. But if they cannot get these leads, and you're going to need those defensive tackles you drafted, right? You're going to need these linebackers to step up. You're going to need J-Ron to even step up even more because the run defense is going to be key. Because historically speaking, the Cowboys' run defense, when they cannot score and get out in front of teams will run the ball. They'll run the ball on them. But I think last year was the first year they kind of took the step in the direction to say, all right, we're going to address the interior of the defensive line to help out this run game. It didn't all the way come to fruition, but they're continuing that with John Ridgeway. So we'll see. So let's get into the first player that I think is going to be very important in maintaining, at the very least, consistency defensively. Mind you, I'm not saying maintaining 38 turnovers or whatever the hell it was, but maintaining a consistently good defense. And for me, it's Malik Hooker. Hooker's number one objective last year for me, was to show that he could stay healthy and play all year. And in doing so, show some of that talent that I liked, that a lot of people liked, that made him a first-round pick. I think he did that. I think he did that. He played a career high 15 games last year, 44 tackles, 30 solo. And he even started a few games when KZ was real weird and got was he suspended? No, he wasn't suspended, but that whole DUI situation and then the injury and all that stuff crept up. But, his season won't go down as an overly productive one. But when you look at his injury history, it was hard to think he'd even play as much as he did. It was always a caveat to Malik Hooker. Yeah, we believe in Malik Hooker's talent, but he's got to stay healthy. He did that. He had a career high in a couple different categories. He had a career high in games played. He tied a career high in solo tackles, and he had a career high in stops. He did those things as a rotational player. He didn't do it as a starter, right? Here's the thing. He only played in 3 games where he had more than 34 snaps, and only 7 games total where he played more than 30 snaps. One of those games was that Philly scrimmage, so, I kind of don't even want to count that. So it's not like he was out there as much as a J-Ron, as much as a AB or Diggs or anything like that. Coming back from the injury he had, they didn't really want to put that on him. And I think you got to a point where you saw he started to trust himself a little bit better, right? You saw that he believed in himself a little bit more, and the game started coming back to him. And he talked about that in Indianapolis, the mental aspect of returning from injury, especially from a guy that gets injured. But with Hooker fully healthy now, I think he can kind of go back to the role that I thought he'd take over in general. And that was being the single high guy, being the roof guy, right? He did a little bit of everything last year. Of everything. When they signed Hooker, or when it was the Hooker versus KZ thing, I always thought Hooker was a better player and he had the highest upside at free safety. But KZ was healthier early on, and he was, let's be honest, he was steady early on. Early on, KZ was steady. So Dan had to find another way to use Hooker. And that's where the sphere aspect of Hooker's game last year kind of came out to play. He played way more in the box. Way more in the box than he ever played in his career. And I thought you saw that clickability from him. That's a play right there where you see the clickability. I called him a click athlete last year, meaning he can see it, click, and go. And you saw a couple of these plays, him doing that. But he played 140 snaps in the box. Easily, by far, the most he's ever played down there. Hell, I think if you go back and look, if you combine a couple of his years, he didn't even play that many snaps in the box. And surprisingly, I thought he played fairly well. I do, down there. Now, that doesn't mean I want him down there because you got a J-Ron curse. You got Jabril coming back, right? Like, I don't really want him down there all the time. I want to get him back to where I think he can be top tier. We had Darius Butler on the show last year when the Cowboys signed Malik Hooker. And he said if Malik Hooker is healthy, I think he can be a top 5, top 10 safety, free safety. I was like, oh, all right. And I like his talent. So I want to put him back up there. And I think Dallas showed some confidence in him last year. Or not last year, a couple months ago. They showed some confidence in him. They signed him to a 2-year deal worth $8 million, $4 million per, which, is chump change in regards to the rest of the league. But for Dallas, you don't really see them put that much money towards safety. You probably like $4 million. I promise you, man. Unless they actually sign their guy long term, Gerald Sensabaugh from a decade ago, Barry Church from a decade ago. You don't really see him put that much money in there. Same thing with Curse. If you want to be honest, if you combine their money, that's something different for the Cowboys in regards to the safety position. So, to be honest with you, I think the pressure is on Malik Hooker because the Cowboys didn't address free safety depth. They didn't address the free safety depth. So, I think it's going to be very important for Hooker to stay healthy again and ball out. Because who's the other free safety Cowboys in? Israel Mukuamu? Y'all want to move Bland back there? I know y'all love trying to move these corners everywhere. There really is no established free safety on this team outside of Hooker. So he's going to be key in this defense. key. We talk about J-Ron, as we should, because he's the green dot guy, and he proved himself last year. But for the Cowboys to either take the next step or maintain, I think they're going to need Malik Hooker. So, question to y'all. Is he going to bust? Or is he going to have his best year of his career in 2022? Bust or best? And I'll give my answer as you guys give your answer. But before I do that, let's talk about Worth the Poor, ladies and gentlemen. One thing we can all agree on is watching the Cowboys can be stressful. To take the edge off of game days, stop by Worth the Poor Spirits and Wine in the colony of Texas. They are a family-owned and operated luxury liquor store, so, like to support the small businesses here. And for that game day party that won't end, they even offer liquor deliveries to all of North Texas. So to make Worth the Poor part of your game day routine, download the app, which allows you to schedule your order for delivery and pickups and gives you extra discount savings if you want to save some money. Type in A to Z Sports. You get 5% off any order $20 or more. So download the app today or visit worththepoor.com.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions.
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
We'll do it live.
Kel said bust. He needs some milk. Hey, man, he stayed healthy last year. Let's see. Stephen White, best hands down, says bust. B47 says best. Trina's back. Derek Fisher says best. Malik is clearly on it. Gave him some fire. Stephen White gave him some fire. Toxic says, sadly bust. I don't see him staying healthy. I can't argue that with you. I can't sit here and be like, just because of one season of health, I ignore the other 5 or 4, whatever it was. But if I'm being on the optimistic side here, if that momentum of being healthy continues, I feel good about it. Cole's Cowboy says best. Full training camp with DQ. Best year for Hooker. That's another thing, right? He didn't have a full training camp. Mr. Kima says best. All right. See ya. You're gone, Trina. That's what we're not going to do. Block. You're not going to talk to the bomb squad like that. Turbo, you out of here too. See ya. Let's see here. Zach Williams says best. Derek is 0-1. Oh, you're talking about this dude. Church Boy, best. DP Hooker's going to have a breakout year. That's one of my candidates, man. I'm going to say best. I'm going to say best because if you want to, if I say, hey, Sky, ignores injuries, I'm saying best. Because last year he didn't have a full year of training camp. It was his first year in this system. He talked about the mental aspect of coming back from an injury, and that can take like a year, to be honest with you. And if you go look at some of his numbers of snaps played to his production, I think the more he played, the better he played, the more familiar he got, the more comfortable and confident he got. So now that he's the guy, and I think he's going to be put in that situation where he's the roof guy. Y'all remember some of those breakdowns from KZ? I don't really see that with Hooker. I feel like Hooker will get those interceptions. I feel like that athlete from Malik will come out, and I think they believe in him. So I'm going to go with best. Nah, man, do not worry about it, Professor O. I got you, brother. I got you. Again, I got to give some more wrenches out. This is what we're not going to do. Y'all know me. Trolls are allowed in here as long as you are, how you can troll intelligently. I have no problem with that. But what you're not going to do is insult the viewers. That's not what you're going to do. We'll leave it at that. I'm not going to address these weirdos anymore. Let's get my guy B in the building. What's up, B?
What's good with you, my G?
What up, man? How you doing? This long time no speak, man.
I know, man. I've been busy, man, out here in the city, man, working hard trying to get this bag.
I can dig it, dog. Ain't never mad at that. What's
up? Oh man, nothing, man. Just tapping in with you, man. Seeing what you're talking about, man. I think he's gonna have his best season when it comes to Hooker if he stays healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's not healthy, you know what everybody's gonna say. If he's not what he's supposed to be, the criticism is gonna come. They had Lewis Singh rated as a first-round player, and they passed up on him to take a second-round rated offensive line.
Oh, you think they're gonna go there?
Why not? Because if I'm saying if it doesn't happen, I'm just starting drama this early. Why not?
You get messy.
You know what I'm saying? If he's not what we want him to be or hope he's going to be, it's going to be a couple things. It's going to be he doesn't make that much money, or they're going to kill him in the media. People that've seen that board that say had Lewis Singh rated as a first-round player, and the Cowboys window dressed their board, as Broadus would say. And they jumped tags, and they pushed up the offensive lineman, which is something they should not do. It's never okay to do that unless they're that close. But I don't think in any scenario you say I want a second-round player in the first round when you already have a first-round safety rated there. Just take the safety. And that's not to say the kid is not going to be a good player. I think we done – you know what I'm saying? I think that Tyler Smith has a chance if they leave him at guard. I really think he does. But if – Malik Hooker is not what we hoped him to be, that's what's going to be the criticism. And you know they just waiting.
Well, here's what I feel about the safety, B. And I'm just specifically talking about the safety. I think Will McClay puts the board together, right? And Will McClay goes, this is how I look at it. He doesn't give a damn about the history of the Cowboys and how they draft or anything like that. He says, these are my best players. This is my first round, my second round, whatever. And then Jerry and Steven look at it and say, yeah, we know Lewis Singh is 15th on your board, but we don't give a damn about safety.
Was he fit? No, I don't even think he was 15. I think he was 12.
Okay, so he was a top 15
he was
player.
Rated, but yeah, he was rated like 4 spots ahead of Smith.
I think there is something, I don't know what it is, and I can't wait, if I'm ever, credentialed, I will ask this question because I'm serious. Like, why do you guys not believe in investing in the safety position with draft capital? Because it's a history of it. It's like ingrained in their DNA, bro. Ever since Roy Williams, they said, nah, I'm not taking one. If it's not the 5th, 6th, or 7th round, I'm not taking a safety. So I'm just curious. I'm just curious. They may have a good answer for me. We don't know.
Man, that's so annoying because the safety, man, I don't think people understand, man. Your safety, if you have a safety that can control the middle of the field with his IQ as well as his physical abilities, man, that helps your defense so much. Anything down the middle, safety, linebacker, defensive tackle, it helps your defense so much, man. And I just, you said it all draft season. He was like, B, I'm not even worried about Daxton Hill. I'm not worried about Lewis Singh because they're not going to do it.
They're going to do it.
You said you were like, they're not going to do it, so I'm not even going to get my hopes up.
You know how much time I saved not looking at safeties this year? Oh, my God. So much time.
It's funny because you was right. He was right there for them to take. Yeah. The board told them to take him. They said, nah, I'm going to go ahead and do this.
It's not going to happen.
And it's funny, bro, because you say it all the time, man. I'm not even going to waste my time.
Nope. Until they prove me wrong, then I'll start investing in it. But I'm not doing it no more. And honestly, the funny thing about it though, this year too, B, let me be real, let me be completely honest. I didn't think they needed to, because I do believe in J-Ron Kurz, and as you guys know, what I just said, I do believe in Malik Hooker. I thought that they were pretty fine at safety, so they didn't have to really take one unless one of those dudes like Kyle Hamilton fell to you. Then that's a different story. But I didn't think they really needed to invest in it early this year. But safety's been a problem spot for years, so they had plenty of opportunities to do that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But that's just what it is that they do, man. And you know what I'm saying? I agree with you when you say you don't think they needed to force it, but I don't think that Malik Hooker is that much of a player to where you can't trust your board. They signed him to a 2-year, $8 million deal. With what? 3 guaranteed, something like that.
Something like so. You basically saying, I think it's like 5, whatever. But you basically saying he shouldn't stop you from going BPA if the BPA happens to be a safety. I mean, that's fair.
Nope.
That's fair.
Because what's the point of stacking? I can see if it was you got Tyler Smith rated 14 and you got Singh rated 13. okay, as broad as would say the tags are touching. But I think Lewis Cine was rated 12. If I'm not mistaken, he was the second to last player ranked in the first round, and then they had Tyler Smith rated at 16. That's 4 spots, bro. You can't do that, in my opinion.
What I think it was.
Go ahead.
I think it was close. I think it was tags touching. I think it was 15, 16. But what I think they did, and I actually don't disagree with this one. What I think they did was say, I think the upside and the value with Tyler Smith potentially being a tackle exceeds the safety position, and I don't disagree. Like, I love safety. I'm biased towards safety, but I'm also not going to sit here and act like it's a more valuable position than, a tackle, if that's how you look at Tyler Smith. So I think that's how they viewed it.
I understand. I can see that point. I can see that. But we'll see, man. Like I said, with all that said, I think he'll be fine. Hold on. Here you go, right here. Lewis Cine rated 13. Tyler Smith rated 16.
Okay, so it wasn't quite touching. They had some spaces.
Yeah, it has some spaces, but I guess it. I guess.
So.
But yeah, man, I just wanted to tap in with you though.
I appreciate you, B. As always, man.
My
Safe
man.
out there getting that
all right,
back.
Bro, I'm gonna get off here and listen to you.
Yes, sir.
My man.
So my man B basically saying, this could be another Tristan Hill, Juan Thornhill type of situation. I don't know, man. I think we all feel a little bit better about safety than we did at that point in time. So I don't think there'll be guys that are connected, but Juan Thornhill and Tristan Hill will forever be connected in Cowboys lore because of the situation that happened. Best says, I also agree O-line is more important. Yeah, I think they definitely looked at it that way. And it is. I mean, if you got tackle, if you think he's a tackle, honestly, even if you think he's a guard, and I'm trying not to contradict myself here because I do believe you can get a guard at certain spots of the draft, but that was a glaring, blinking light type of position. And if you think that he can be a really damn good guard, I just think you had to do that over Lewis Cine. I just wasn't really tripping about taking a safety that early with the guys we got now. So I got best for and Jonathan, I think it was Buchanan. Hold tight because I want to get your thought on this too because you asked a very good question. He said, "Are we grading them bust or best on what we want to happen or what we think will happen?" It's what you think, not what you want. We all want all these dudes to be all pros, but we're trying to have obviously real conversations here. So I truly do believe that Malik Hooker, if healthy, can be a stellar safety for you. Does he have to be a pro? Is he going to be a pro bowler? I don't know about all that. But I think you'll see him get a couple picks, man. I think you'll see him make some plays on the ball because that's what he was as a roof guy. And he's going to be a whole year removed from his injury. Confidence, he's that dude. And the guys in front of him, I think, going to help him too. Let's get to Reek real quick, man. It's been a while since we heard from Reek. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Skywalker? What's going on, Cowboy Nation? How y'all doing today, man?
I'm good.
Like,
good
share,
morning.
subscribe, and all that good stuff. Yeah, man. One thing I gotta say, man, is this, man. As far as veterans and stuff on our team that we grading, you already know who at the top of my damn list. Who I don't know if there's any hope for this dude. I'm tired of people trying to hype him up like he gonna go out here and beat Brian Urlacher. So you already know where I'm coming from with this.
Who that?
It's Leighton Vander Esch.
Hold your horses.
Vander Esch, right?
Hold your horses. We're gonna talk about LVE.
Yeah,
later.
I'm about to say, man. Well, I'm just gonna tap in a little bit on that, man. My thing is like this, man. That dude ain't did nothing really since his rookie season. That neck. It was a comment made by the new linebacker Clark. It kind of disturbed me. It's like if I was him, I wouldn't want to learn nothing about my neck when it came to no damn Leighton Vander Esch, because I don't think he figured it out yet, and that's how I feel about it. I'm happy that the dude is able to still play football. I'm happy for him, but we not gonna sit here and act like he all that. That's what we not gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, do you?
I don't understand the game. Huh?
Do you think he's talking about how Leighton Vander Esch healed from that surgery, as opposed to like, I'm gonna learn the game from LVE? I think it's like, hey man, how did you get back to being able to play football after you had your fusion type of thing. I think that's what Clark was talking about.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I'm also like this. Why if the man neck healed all the way back up and he's able to play at a high level? I'm worried his late visitor is going to say the same thing he said to Parsons, like, you don't need to make all the plays. That kind of threw me off when that dude said that. That turned me all the way off with him.
People
I
was
said,
pissed at
oh,
that.
hell no. Nah.
I think we took that the wrong way though, Reek. Like, you don't understand where he's coming from. You don't feel him?
I didn't like it. It was distasteful. I'm like, what you mean? I ain't got to make all the plays. It's different when you make it. I need to make it. That's part of the game.
You know what's tough, bro? I can't even be mad at you because, like, Parsons went out there and played like that. Like, I'm making all the plays, and he did. So, maybe Parsons is just a freak, and he's a dude that can get away with that. But I don't think everybody can.
Yeah, man, my thing is like this. I gave him the Westbrook face. What? Like, why would you say that? But, my thing is, he's definitely one of my players on the list that I'm like, whatever. I don't got that much faith in him. He played okay in that San Francisco game. If we gonna be honest with if everybody's gonna be honest with each other, he played okay. And Tristan Hill, man, that's another one for me. I don't even think his job's secure in this team. If you ask me.
Yeah,
that's just me.
Yeah, my bold prediction is early in May. Again, this can change once you get to camp, and Tristan is that dude. I don't think he makes the team.
Yeah, you better watch his back.
And I don't even know if that's bold. I mean, is that even bold at this point? I don't know. But I
don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think he makes the team.
Yeah, man. But my whole thing is this, man. I don't with this defense, I really believe that Dan Quinn has a real good plan for this defense. And I think the defense is going to bring it. Even if the defense start up a tad bit slower than last year, I still think that we're going to be an effective defense. But, you know what I mean, the arrows is pointing up for us. That's how I look at it, man. It's pointing more up for us than down. And I just hope that Kellen and Mike McCarthy locks in this year. I just hope this whole team on offense locks in. I know
in closing,
I know that we probably gonna have up and downs. In closing, I know we're gonna have ups and downs. But my whole thing is like this: if we're gonna be a better team, I think we need to be a better team in the red zone on both sides of the ball. That's it.
That's fair.
That's all I gotta say.
That's fair.
Right,
that's one part of my pillars defensively is be great in the red zone. Right, be great in the red zone. Appreciate you, Rick. So. Hell, listen, I wasn't going to go to LVE, but great segue. Let's go ahead to LVE. Let's talk about my other veteran that I think is key, y'all. It's key. And honestly, LVE might be the most important one on this list that Dallas needs to step up and take his recent game to another level. That's real. Here's why. Dallas didn't do much to add a dude in free agency or the draft to play next to Micah as that thumper or that guy that unlocks Micah to move around. That's not a knock on Jabril Cox, by the way. Jabril Cox is not going to be a middle linebacker. Jabril Cox is not going to play inside a tremendous amount of the time. In fact, if Micah and Jabril are on the field at the same time, Micah is likely going to be in the middle unless he has to slide down to play defensive end for whatever reason. So that role is probably going to be LVE. It's going to be LVE. Now, he talked about the injury and all that stuff. He played his most games last year since his rookie season. So, that is something that is encouraging. Last year, 77 tackles, 48 solo, and a career high, believe it or not, 4 tackles for loss. So it wasn't all bad for LV. And to be honest with you, I give LVE slack, y'all. We crack a little jokes and stuff like that, but he wasn't bad last year. I don't want y'all to mistake me for thinking that LVE was a bad player. He wasn't a bad player. I would have liked to upgrade from him, as I don't really see him as a long-term stay or a guy who has another gear who can take his game to another level. But not bad or okay. I don't think it's going to cut it in 2022. It's going to need him to take his game to another gear. another level. You're going to have to get him back to what his best is. You got to get him back at least close to what his best is. And he's best when he's allowed to run free. Now, I do think the injury made him a little bit more stiff than he was in his rookie year. But Dallas needs to get him closer to that. I would personally like to see him come in just a little bit lighter, right? Like 6'5", 260, he moves well for 6'5", 260. But if we could somehow trim a little, I don't want to say fat, but trim a little bit of weight off, get him a little bit more rocked up, it'd be nice to see if he could be a little bit more explosive. He's not a low IQ guy. I think he's a heady player, but sometimes he just looks clunky. And I think, when you see, even right there, it's a good tackle. It looks weird because it is weird, because he does move weird. And I do think it's because of the injury. But he's been allowed to come back and play football, So if LV has to redirect now, I think that's where he gets in trouble, which is why I'm like, hey, can we cut a couple pounds off so he can be a little bit better in that redirection? But nonetheless, man, when he has that chip on his shoulder, he can be a really good read and react linebacker. We just need to see him play with that chip. We need to see that pissed off LVE after they cut Jalen, right? He got in front of the mic and he got all pissed off. Yeah, man, I just don't think it's fair and nada. And then the next game, he goes out and has one of the best games of the season against the Giants. So I just think it's going to be extremely important. In fact, like I said, I think he's the most important guy on this list to level up. Because you look at the linebacker room, it's Micah, it's LVE, it's Jabril, and a lot of uncertainty underneath. And if we're keeping it at 100, again, I'm about being real on here. I'm about being real. As much as I love Jabril Cox, and I do think Jabril and Micah are the future, and we ain't seen it. So when we're talking about established guys in that locker room, on the field, you got two players, Micah and LVE. I don't like that, right? I don't like that. So much like Malik Hooker, LVE has pressure to level up. The Dallas Cowboys need him, whether you like him or not. You need LVE to be closer to rookie LVE than the last 3 years LVE. You need it. So your defense can kind of have a filter of the regression. There's going to be a regression, but there's certain things you don't mind regressing, and there's other things you don't want to regress. You don't want to regret. You don't want to go from first third down percentage to 28th. You don't want to go from first turnovers to 25th. You don't go from, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to go from red zone defense, I think, being top half of the league to being the bottom half. You don't want to do that. And I think LV is going to play a big part in that. So here's a question. Is he going to bust out in 2022? Or is he going to play his best of his career? And it's tricky because he kind of already did that his rookie year. So bust or best for LVE. Appreciate you, Adrian. He says, can we get 100 likes? Yeah, man. Hit that like button. Do me a favor, man. Right now. 1, 2, 3. Smash that like button. Bust or best for one LVE, Cowboys Nation. Let me see a couple of you guys' comments on him. He's really a hot button topic. What's up, Ready Red? LVE is one bad hit away from getting injured for the season. I mean, technically, a lot of players are, but probably even more so him. Adrian says, nah, Cox needs to be what most peeps thought he was when we drafted him. LVE will be fine. Yeah, I mean, he needs to be the cover guy, the backside guy, outside linebacker guy, but he does not need to be in the middle. I don't want to see him having to deal with those dudes. I mean, to be honest with you, Micah's really your only middle linebacker, but at least LVE has experience playing in there, where Jabril, I'd rather let him kind of be the roamer if he's going to be that guy. LVE needs to take some steroids like Urlacher and Zach Thomas. Man, mad at that. Ready Red, 6'5", 260, but tackles like he's 190. LV against the Giants. Giants are bottom 5 in the league. Sure. I'm just talking about how he played, I don't give a damn if they play a JV squad. That's the LVE we need. So bust or best? Kel Randall, bust, a wolf hunting for a new job. It's kind of a bar right there. Derek Fisher, D Fish. Why am I just now putting that together? We talk about point 4. Bust. Asmodeus, best. TC915 says a bust. Adrian says best, better D-line and DQ. And that's the thing, right? Micah's so, and I don't mean to compare him, but Micah's so freakish, dude. Like, we understand that linebackers need the defensive line to help them stay clean. But I'm just like, it doesn't matter with him. It doesn't matter. Sure, his game will take another level if the defensive line plays great. But Micah's just a wrecker. Whereas LVE truly needs the defensive line to keep him clean. And if so, I think he could be a clean run hit, talk shit type of dude. Now, he ain't gonna talk shit. But he could be a run hit, wolf howl, whatever you want to call it, type of linebacker. But we're going to need him to be close to that best, right? Not last year. Last year was all right. I don't think all right's going to do it. Because what happened was you went into the season with what we thought was decent linebacker depth. Keanu Neal ain't work out. You cut Jalen Smith. LVE had to play more than probably I would have liked him to play. And you just saw his deficiencies kind of creep up from time to time, which ended up leveling out to a mediocre year. Sin City says, I'm going best. Steven says best. Sorry, bust. Bust, says Hector. Bust, says Professor O. Bust 100%. Best, says KZ3 Cowboy. All right. My decision on it, I'm going to say bust. It's not saying he's going to have a bad year. I just don't think he's going to be close to his best year. Because it's hard for me to ignore the last 3 seasons. I just don't think he was anywhere close to the best, right, of LVE. I hope he's the best, but I just don't have the confidence in me to say that he's going to be. So I'm going with bust for LVE. Now if he comes in trimmed up, if the stiffness kind of goes away, if he looks more fluid, that'll change. But nothing really last year gave me this uber confidence that, LVE's game has more ceiling to it. I kind of think he is what he is. So I'm going bust. Sam says he's going to the Pro Bowl. This says I'm saying. If he goes to the Pro Bowl, I will come on here and apologize to LVE. Take out a couple minutes and apologize to him. I highly doubt that's happening. All right, let's get to James on the horn before I get to the final player, which might surprise y'all. What's up, James?
What is up?
What's good with you?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to be quick.
Cool.
My mindset and the way I operate is I always look to be proven wrong. I never ever look for anything to prove myself wrong. Prove myself right.
Facts.
Correction.
I like that.
So even yesterday when we were talking about the 12 personnel, I actually endorsed the 12 personnel. But before I can endorse it, I want to prove myself wrong on that. So I was like, I don't like the 12 personnel. But actually I do. I don't like the 11 personnel, but I'm not going to endorse the 12 personnel without trying to prove myself wrong. And I couldn't find any reason why 12 personnel wouldn't work out. So you actually persuaded me and proved me wrong, which is what I like.
That really wasn't my.
You only learn when you prove wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That wasn't my intention. I just like to have conversation and hear both sides, but that's pretty dope.
But for me, I don't learn anything if I'm not proved wrong.
Right.
I never look to prove myself right. I only look to prove myself wrong. And I couldn't prove myself wrong that the 12 personnel wasn't the best system for us.
I always say you learn more about yourself from your failures than your success.
Exactly. It's kind of like the scientific method. I only look to prove myself wrong. So going back to Malik Hooker, I don't see Malik Hooker as being a big impact because I feel like the offense regressed. And if our offense isn't putting up major points, then the opposition doesn't need to put up major points. A free safety isn't needed that much because they'll be running the ball more than passing. They pass the ball all year because they had to keep up with our offense. If our offense regresses, so will their offense. They'll run the ball more, so we'll need Ridgeway and those guys in the trenches to play more than we will need Malik Hooker. And as far as LVE, I see him being a bust. I feel like he's going to play to protect himself because, it's human nature to self-preserve ourselves. So I kind of feel like he's going to play it safe, And in the NFL, you have to be reckless. You have to, especially in the middle linebacker, you have to crash into running backs. You have to crash into blockers. You have to take out blockers in order for someone else to eat. I don't see him doing that, so I'm going to say bust with LVE. Not a bust with Malik Hooker, just that he's maybe not going to be needed as
It's
much
out of his
because
control, is what you're
offense
saying
progress.
with Malik Hooker.
Right. The situation is out of his control. So that's my take on Malik Hooker and LVE. And thanks for persuading me on the 12 personnel. I was really hoping that 12 personnel works because we run the ball better, we pass the ball better, and without having two elite receivers, you're putting too much pressure on Lamb to go 11. So 12 is the best option.
Maybe early on, like I said, but once you get Gallup back, then I think all bets are off.
I say maybe 30% of the time run 12. That really helped take a lot of pressure off of Lamb.
Yeah, 30% would have kept them in the top 5 if they maintained that in the back half of the year, because they were at 30.
They kind of got away from that.
They got away from it, yeah.
Right, they got away from that. I don't know why, but they got away from that. Still ran 12, I think, pretty much more than anyone else. But with our personnel and what we have, I kind of feel like they should maybe run 12.
Yeah. Listen, I totally agree,
Malik
as you know.
Hooker, not a big, right. Malik Hooker, not a big impact player because of the offense regression. LVE is going to play it safe to preserve himself, and it's going to hurt him.
All right. Hey,
So
good
that's
stuff,
my
man.
opinion on Malik Hooker and LVE.
Appreciate you, James.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, that's kind of some of the things we said towards the end of Malik. There is the offense is going to have to help the defense, right? And it may be some regression. How much regression we'll see from an offensive standpoint. But teams are still going to throw the rock. I think if you got Micah Parsons, you got LV. You got Micah Parsons and you got D-Law for majority of the season. I don't think teams are going to be able to run at will. I think Dan Quinn's smart. I think Dan Quinn is a guy that can adapt. Kellen Moore maybe should take notes. So I don't think teams will run at will on Dallas. But they may choose to go into that week and do so if guys like Curse and Hooker and Trayvon Diggs and the pass rush is fierce. They may say, screw this. Why would we want to throw into a guy like Hooker who can get picks, Diggs who can get picks? They'll just double whoever AB's with and make things difficult on us. Let's simplify the game. But if teams decide to do San Francisco 49er stuff, we're going to run it for $160 on you. It's going to completely take out the free safety. And if you go back and look at the way KZ played, he was impactful early because teams are kind of a little bit testing him. And then as the season went on, he basically was literally the roof guy. He played way back. And his whole job was just keep everything in front of you. And when he broke down, you saw big plays get happen on him. If they ask Malik Hooker to just be like, just go back there, play center field. We don't really want you to be aggressive and make plays. Then Malik Hooker's probably not going to have that type of impact. But I would say Malik, go be Malik. I don't view KZ as a guy like Malik Hooker, a click and go guy. He's more of a play on the roof, keep everything in front, short tackler, and not be that. But Malik can click and go. Let him click and go. Chris says, thank you. There's not a lot of times where fifth rounders are impactful. Oh, you guys having a conversation inside. All right. Let's get to Los, I think, was next. Then we got two more. I'm going to lock up the phone lines, and we'll get into our final defender that I think is going to be extremely key into elevating this defense or maintaining it to be consistent. What's up, Los?
Yo, good morning, Sky. Sorry about the background noise. I'm up early. I just want to say, I hate y'all put me in this position, but I'm not gonna go out there and say LVE is gonna be a bust.
Okay.
I'll say he'll be solid. He'll be solid. Is he gonna give up big plays? Is he gonna give up, positions where he should not be? Of course. He's not Micah. But to say he's gonna be a flat out bust, I think that's a little bit disrespectful.
Los don't like defending LVE. I hear that in you. You don't like defending him, do you?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not a fan of LVE,
I know.
right? But I'm like, I just think what the job he's gonna do this year is not gonna be. Basically, we're not asking him to be the superhero of this defense. We're just asking him to do solid tackles, don't give up these big plays on third downs, and, be a solid backup piece for Micah. Because even with Cox, his concern is health-wise, correct? So is with LVE.
I'm about to say,
so
I think LVE probably more concerned to health. Cox tore his ACL. What are you going to do? You tore ACL.
Yeah. So it's just going to be like these Cowboys or the staff trying to put the best linebacker out there that's healthy, in my opinion. But I don't think he's going to go ahead.
Do you believe, because it sounds like to me you're just like, we just need LVE to be okay. And you may be right. But do you believe okay is enough for this defense to elevate at that level, given the linebacker room? Or do you need LVE to be better than okay this year? That's the question I'm actually trying to get to. Y'all.
Gotcha. For him to be okay, will this elevate the defense? Not at all. Well, if him being okay will keep the trajectory of the defense where it was last year, I think so. Okay. But it's not going to move up the meter. If that makes sense.
No. That's totally fair, because I definitely try to throw a wrench in there, but I see what you're saying. I'm with you.
Yeah, and that's it, man. I'll just leave it with that, and hopefully Cowboys, in Dan Quinn I trust. I mean, if there's anyone that can make adjustments, like you said, Kellen Moore, take notes. Put the primary playmakers in the positions where they can succeed and let them play football. Straight facts, man.
That's
and
what
hey,
DQ does.
To close off, man, let's go Mavs, bro. Game time. Hope you watch the game. And bro, I'm not scared of these Warriors.
I'll be watching.
They're gonna get that Luka special.
I'll be watching today, and then I'll be at the game at the AAC on Sunday. First time being at a Mavericks game, ball game in general. Sounds crazy, right? But that'll be my first one. Me and Vach will be heading there, so it'll be pretty fun, man.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, y'all enjoy it, man. You have a good day. You have a good morning. And keep being the legend you are, Scott. Peace.
Salute, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I wanted to make it difficult on y'all today. I could come on here and be like, yeah, everybody be okay. But I want to know, are these dudes going to be closer to their best, or are they going to bust out? Because if you actually go look at all these dudes' careers, and once I get to this final one, I think it'll all come together. They've all had, I don't want to say breakout seasons, but they've all had top tier-ish seasons. So that's close to their best. But that's all they've had. Other than that, it's you could argue, right? Malik Hooker was taken in the first round, 15th, 16th, 17th overall, somewhere around there. You could argue he's been a bust. I don't even know if it's arguable. LVE was taken 17th overall or 18th or whatever it was. The only reason why you may hold off on him being a bust is because the all-pro year is rookie season. Miss a lot of time year 2. Miss a lot of time year 3. Below average to average year 4. But I think you could argue it. It's tough to be like bust because he was all-pro. But there's people who will argue that with you. I don't think it's just cut and dry. And then this third one. This one might be a little bit tricky too. But we talked about 3 different levels of the defense. Safety, linebacker. Now we're going to hit the defensive line. I think this guy is extremely key into making this defense either stay the course or elevate it. And it's Dante Fowler. Another first-round pick. Top 5 overall. Number 3, actually, overall. That you could argue has been a bust. Now, he did have a breakout year. But again, you look at the rest of his career. Outside of that big year, for a number 3 overall pick, it hasn't been the greatest for Dante Fowler. No, hasn't been the greatest. Hasn't been the worst. Hasn't been terrible, but it hasn't been the greatest. Now, he did have a season in 2019 where he had 11.5 sacks, 16 quarterback hits, and 16 tackles for loss. That's the breakout one. That's a breakout one. But then he got the bag from Atlanta, and he hasn't been close to that same guy. Right? He hasn't been close to that same guy. That does not mean that he did not show some of what I think he was good at in Atlanta. He showed some of that rush ability. But it was wildly inconsistent from a production standpoint. And he just really didn't click in that Dean Pease system. You know, he had 4.5 sacks last year. That's not bad at all. You know, about 6 tackles for loss. Again, it's not like he was horrible last year, but inconsistent would be the word that I would use. And then I would argue Dean Pease is not Dan Quinn in Dallas. We know Dan Quinn originally signed him to that big deal in Atlanta, but he never even got to see half of it through because Dan Quinn got fired after 5 weeks. And if we're being honest, the Atlanta Dan Quinn is not the Dallas Cowboys Dan Quinn from a schematic standpoint. I think Dan Quinn has learned to adapt and has become a better coordinator. He could be the same coach, as in they love him. They loved him in Atlanta. But from a coordinator standpoint, I think he's gotten better. But when we signed him, I mostly looked at this tape. I mostly looked at 2021 tape to see how did he win. But I think Quinn is going to be a little bit more multifaceted than Dean Pease was up front. So I wanted to see, what did he look like in L.A.? Where did he win in L.A.? How did he win in L.A.? He won in multiple ways. He won standing up rushing. He won with his hand in the ground rushing. He had effort sacks. In the bull rush, stunts. He was all over the place. And usually when he wins, there's not much wasted motion from Dante Fowler. That's the thing. He was a top 3 pick for a reason. You see the skill set show. But between Atlanta and LA, the one thing I was really impressed with was his hands. That was one of the first things when I went and looked at the Atlanta tape. I was like, man, I love his hands. He has strong hands, active hands. He's got quickness to get inside, to get inside or outside, really, to give tackles trouble. I personally do think he has a bag, too, and I think Dan Quinn can get him in that bag. If anybody can get him in that bag, I think it's Dan Quinn. But again, I wanted to go back and look here because the Rams ran a more multifaceted defense, you know, and they had Fowler all over the place. Standing up, hands down, and I think Dan Quinn will do that with Dante Fowler. You might be like, well, Scott, he played with Aaron Donald. You're right. He absolutely did. But he's about to play with one of the best defensive players in the league in Micah Parsons. Oh, and he's got DeMarcus Lawrence there too. So it's not like he's not going to have players on defense that's going to make life easier around him. So, yeah, he might have already had his breakout season, Cowboys. That's why I said this one might be cheating. This might be cheating here. But I think he can at least have a bounce back season under Dan Quinn. I do. There's going to be some obstacles, though. Like, he might not have that 11.5 sack type of year. And it may not be due to him, but you got Dorrance Armstrong, who they just paid. They want to see what Dorrance Armstrong could do. Right? Sam Williams is a second-round pick. They want to see what Sam Williams can do. So will he have 50 snaps per game? Probably not. You're probably not going to see him do that. You're probably not going to see him do that. So when I say bust or best with him, his best might not be 11.5 sacks this year. But I don't necessarily think that means he won't be closer to his best. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not even going to wait to see your answers. Although I'm going to ask the question, do you think Dante Fowler will be bust or will he play closer to his best? I think Dante Fowler will play closer to his best here. I do. And again, that might just be my fandom and trust in Dan Quinn. It may be. But I had to go back. I wanted to see, and I know it's 3 years ago, but I wanted to see how he was used in LA. I wanted to see how he played when he was on in Atlanta. And he's not going to be asked to play 55 snaps per game. So I think when he gets those, 30 to 35 snaps, he's going to give 110%. And if you can get him to give 110% for even just 25 of them, he's going to put some pressure on these quarterbacks. He's got moves. He's got strong hands. He's got a rip. He can get off. He can disengage very well, I think. It's just that the consistency, I think, is where you saw him kind of lack over the years in Atlanta and probably was frustrated. He probably said, man, I want to get the hell out of here. He loves Dan Quinn. I think he even said, I'll follow Dan Quinn wherever he goes for the rest of his career if I can. So I think he could be sneaky. I'm going best. See what y'all got. Chuck P says best. Jose best. Reggie best. You know, I probably should have said better. I should have added better. We'll do this again with a different topic, but I do like bust, better, or best. I like that. David J said better to his best. Okay. I'll get to that in a quick second. James Ruff, best. Tony Simmons, best. Fowler will be the NASCAR package. I'd like to see him. So, I said this about Sam Williams, but I think you could do the same thing with Dante Fowler. I like to see Dan use both Sam and Fowler how he used Randy. Randy wasn't just handling the dirt guy. Randy was moved all over the place. He was standing up. He was rushing. He was moving on stunts. He was attacking the A-gap, right? You know, I'd like to see him do that. Gregory says better. Chris bust. We shouldn't even be talking about Fowler. Why not? Dorrance with 5 sacks last year and Sam Williams in the second. Chris. I'm glad you brought that up. I urge you to go back and watch Dorrance Armstrong sacks. You won't find a single sack. And let me see if I can pull this back up. You won't find a single sack look like some of these. Not one. From Dorrance Armstrong. See, I hate to do this. I'm not trying to bash Dorrance Armstrong. Ain't no way that man is better than Dante Fowler, bro. I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing it. So, yeah, I disagree with you right there, Chris. We shouldn't be talking about Fowler. The only reason why Dorrance Armstrong is safe is because he got the little mini bag. That's it. But from a pass rushing standpoint, brother, he can't hold Dante Fowler, in my opinion. Fowler will be motivated to play with Quinn. If he gets 7 sacks, that means Dorrance was a bad signing and Sam Williams was a bad draft pick. Well, that doesn't mean Sam's a bad draft pick. But if you want to talk about the Dorrance Armstrong signing, we could have a conversation. I won't go out and I won't go that far left and say it was bad. But I mean, I went back and watched Dorrance Armstrong. If anything, I was like, okay, I like him against the run. As a pass rusher, he's unspectacular to me. I think there were many pass rushers better than Dorrance Armstrong in free agency. See, yeah, so what? He's 24. He's 24. Fowler's 27. Fowler's a better pass rusher. That's all I'm saying. We got some news. Do I got my news drop? I don't think I have my news drop, y'all. Nope, I don't. Breaking news. The Philadelphia Eagles have signed cornerback James Bradbury. And we move on. Back into the chat here. Dorrance was part-time player. So was Fowler, if you go look. He didn't really start that many games last year. Yeah, he decent. Yeah, I'm being real. I'm really not trying. I'm not coming at you, Chris, but I promise you. Go watch Dorrance on tape and go watch Dante on tape, and I think you'll come back and be like, all right, look. Dante different than him. I'm not saying he's just spectacular. Dude, he different than Dorrance. Dorrance got, 5 sacks last year? I think all 5 of them came up from the hands of somebody else or because of a coverage sack. He didn't have what I would consider, I use the term impact sack, but I don't think he created said sack. Dante created said sack. Randy created said sack. D-Law, Micah, on and on. Osa, on and on. I've seen those guys create a ton of them. I didn't see much of that from last year from Dorrance. And I don't want to get on that side, y'all. I hate that I'm doing this to Dorrance Armstrong. I don't want anybody to get their expectations set so high for this man that we think DA is about to come in here and just be this sack dude. I don't see that. I hope like hell I'm wrong. I hope he come here and have 15 sacks. I just don't see it from him, is all. Let's get Marv in the building. What's up, Marv?
What's up, fam? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Pretty good show today. How you?
Oh, yeah. The show is nice. I love it. Good topic.
Appreciate you.
Good topic. Well, let's get to it. Vanderbilt. What get me mad about Vanderbilt? He could be good, but what messed him up, like I was telling Vaj,
Did you say?
Law.
You said Vander Esch, right?
Yeah, Vanderbilt. I was Law.
Okay.
I told Law.
Thought you said Vander
I know.
I say, damn, Marv. You don't like him like that. Shit.
You know that's that country in me, man.
I know. I got you. Almost spit out more.
But I know. He what messed him up when they throw them screens, instead of being a 2-yard tackle, it'd be a 15-yard gain. That's what makes me mad about him. And like you say, he be trying to protect that neck. Now, sometimes he make plays. I want him to do good. He's a Cowboy, so I'm going to root for him to be like the rookie. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
I ain't going to talk bad about him. I'm just going to pray that he's going to do good. But I'm not worried about Hooker because now he's finally healthy.
Right.
So he's going to do good. So, and the third, your boy, he's going to get 8 to 10 sacks. I told you, he's coming to get that bag. That's why Steven ain't going to sign him. Y'all going to be pissed. Remember I told you? He's going to get 8 to 10 sacks.
Fowler.
Yes, he will. He's going to get it. He got all the traits. He's getting them. He's getting 8 to 10. He about to get that bag. And the Cowboy fans going to be pissed. Catboy, I already know.
You going to get a bag from who, Dallas?
No, from another team.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why they got Williams. Williams is going to get about 6 sacks. He's going to get 6.
I would love that for Sam. I think that would be a hell of a rookie year for Sam Williams if you get 6 sacks.
Yeah. He's going to get about 6 because, like you say, all of them going to get 30 snaps. They're going to be fresh. It's going to be like a moving, like a Lamborghini's coming from all over. And but the key to the thing, it's almost there. We just got to pray, Cowboy fans, that the exclamation point, I don't want Hitchin because he's trying to sneak in there. Yeah. That's why he's standing in Dallas. It's going to hopefully be the Minnesota linebacker. That's the key.
Anthony Barr. Brother, I'm with that signing at this point, man. Like like I said before about that. During free agency, there were other linebackers I would have loved to have brought in because I thought linebacker was a high need. Now, beggars can't be choosers. We need to get a veteran in here that has had some success in this league. Anthony Barr is one of them. Quan is one of them. Whether they injury prone or not, what do you got to lose at this point?
You ain't got nothing to lose.
None.
But if they get Anthony Barr, because I got a bet with Law. I said we're gonna get 50 sacks. Write that down. Remember what I told you? 50. He's getting 50 sacks.
50? How many sacks did we have last year?
50 sacks. They're like 41.
Oh, did we? We had 41.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean that ain't bad. Shoot.
We're gonna get 50 sacks. We're gonna be the top sack team because now they got Dan Quinn. He put the Seattle defense together where it's hard to throw on them and it's hard for the halfbacks. Instead of getting tackled for 1-yard loss or 2-yard gain, it won't be a 20-yard gain. Because all his linebackers is 4.5s, 4.4s.
Yeah, he got some athletes, brother. He brought in some athletes. My only concern is my only concern is that the mental aspect of their games is still developing. So that's why I kind of want to get a veteran in here that's seen things, because they're going to get things thrown at them that's going to have them like, whoa, looking like Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob, the meme, where he's like, whoa, what's going on out here? So, give me a vet in here.
That's what we need. If we get that Bar, I'm praying too. Now, I ain't mad. But if give me one of them, or like you say, Hitchens, either one, give me one of them just to help my queen be out. So we can hide them all over. You don't know where he's coming from. The missile, I call him the missile. Hide the missile They don't know where he's coming from. I'm telling you, Fowler is going to get a lot of sacks. I'm telling y'all right now, he's getting a lot of sacks. He's gonna do like Quinn did when Quinn came there.
Now, if he does Quinn numbers, that'll surpass my expectations. But I'm in agreement that I think Fowler is going to be more productive than maybe we think. I have him in that 8 to 9 sack range. I think it's very possible for him to do it this year. I truly do.
And the other guy, number 59, Golston. He had 2 sacks last year.
I like Golston against the run.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And then, like me and you say, that middle, they concentrate on that middle. If they stop that middle, oh, my God. Because they're going to stop that middle because they was killing. This year, they're not running. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all think I'm lying. That dude arms are long. You can go watch the tape. That Ridgeway guy, he uses arms. That's why they don't move him. Our other defensive tackles, they try to bull rush, and that's why they get moved out the way. He stop you like a wrestler, so when the halfback comes, he ain't got nowhere to go.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about Ridgeway, bro.
Oh, my God. I've been watching Finn all week. I said, man, this big white dude is crazy.
Big country.
The game I saw, the dude, one guy called him, I think a week ago when he called in on you, he was like, Rich, like, watch that Georgia tape. Yeah. It's like 5 guys blocking him.
and that's what all we need. Like, honestly, bro, I don't need Ridgeway to get 4 sacks. I don't need Ridgeway to have 50 tackles. I need Ridgeway to make traffic, make things difficult, make the running back redirect. And I would have felt that same way about Urban. Like, because people got mad a little bit, about Brent Urban, what I said about him. I'm like, listen, I get that he's not going to be a stat machine. I don't need him to be a stat machine. So that's why I said, let me go back and see what exactly he did. I don't think he altered the game as much as people want to believe because they correlate the run game, the run defense to going down south when he left. But if you actually watch the games, man, and go back and watch the All-22, he was at best average. He wasn't, in my opinion, redirecting traffic. Teams were running outside or they stopped running in general because we were blowing them out the first 6 weeks. If Ridgeway can cause traffic jams and when doing so, be the car accident himself and take a guy down in the backfield, sure. Now, Brent Urban in 2020, he was doing that. He was active. He was making plays. I just didn't see that last year.
Nah, Ridgeway going to be way better. Armor, he's stronger, bigger. They're not moving him. And he already knew it. Like you said, they got a guy with attitude. And he know, I'm going to tell y'all, this guy know. He probably at home telling his family, man, I'm starting. He going to make, Ridgeway is going to make
starting over
the other number 96 better. He's going to make 96 well better. 96 and number, the UCLA kid, they're going to have an all-pro year because of that guy. Because they're going to get that penetration, and he's going to stop. And he's going to make our guard and our center, whoever it be, the center for us.
Oh, yeah, all-pro.
Be honest, he's going to make them better, so when they play big guys, he's going to make them guys better. Watch what I tell y'all.
He's going to make Bladis better?
He's going to make them he's going to make Bladis better.
Okay.
Because Bladis been working with you, been working with Steele guy.
Yes, he has. That makes me feel better, too. He's been working with Duke. I saw a picture of him with Duke. So Big Duke.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Big Duke might
not losing his position. Yes.
Big Duke might get Bladis. He might get him good, man.
Yeah.
Might get him ready.
Yeah, Bladis going to be a beast, man. Because now he ain't got to worry about Connor Williams. Big boy, Smith is powerful, strong. He's going to be, by September, Smith going to be cold-blooded. He already strong. Like you say, me and you just want to work on technique all summer. Technique.
Hey, Marv, I love this energy, man. Bottle it up, save it, and call back in again this week so we can talk some more ball. We're talking about Ridgeway tomorrow, all right?
All right, sounds good. What time you come on? 6? It's 6 o'clock in L.A.
You in
8 o'clock your time?
Yeah, you in L.A. Damn, I forgot it's 6 o'clock over there. Oof, man. Yeah, I'll be on at 6, bro.
I'll be sleeping. Yeah, I'm gonna get on when you get on. What time you have people calling at 6 or 6:30?
Probably closer to 6:30, 6:45 your time, because I'm gonna be talking about we're gonna do the rating the draft for Ridgeway, so I'll be going through that whole situation. Okay. So call in, man, whenever you want.
Yeah, we're gonna. Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna call in tomorrow.
All right, brother.
All right, family. Shalom. Have a blessed day.
You too, bro.
All right.
He got me pumped up, ready to talk about Ridgeway. Yeah, like I said, man, I'll tease it again. Tomorrow we'll pick up our rating and draft series with Big Country John Ridgeway. Probably going to be the last part of our series. I don't think about it. Yeah, it's gonna be the last part of our series. I know we got Bland and we got Devin Harper, but no, I think I wanted to do Matt Waletzko. I'm interested in that. I'm interested in the Waletzko situation. Yeah, I think we'll do Waletzko. I think he'll be the last one. Bland and Harper, maybe we'll do a show that ties Bland and Harper so we can feature them, but I'm just not doing a rating series on those guys because I in regards to Bland, I just don't see it. Somebody got to get hurt. Somebody got to go down, something. It's going to be hard for him to crack this damn roster. Harper, though, Harper can get on here. That's why I do kind of want to do a show that features him, so. But yeah, we got Ferguson, we got Ridgeway, we got Waletzko. Jeez, sound like Mark. Somebody had a comment in here I wanted to get to, and I lost it. All right, I didn't lose the comment, I lost the person. He said in the comment, don't you think, in regards to Anthony Barr and a couple of these veterans, don't you think if Dan Quinn wanted them, they would have them? Squad, y'all know my answer. No. No. As long as this man is writing the free agency check, that's not happening. So, no. I'm sorry if whoever that was, I could have shouted you out here, but good question. But he ain't writing the checks. Prime example, Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner wanted to be in Dallas. Bobby Wagner specifically talked to Dan Quinn. Bobby Wagner said, financials just didn't work out. Another example, Von Miller. Don't sit here and tell me Dan wouldn't have wanted a Von Miller. Now you can argue about the money or whatever, but Von Miller wanted to be in Dallas. I'm pretty sure he would have loved to get his hands on a freaking Von Miller opposite of D-Law and Mike goddamn Parsons. Come on now. Catboy is not going to allow that to happen. So, nah. He can want whoever the hell he wants, but if it doesn't fit under Catboy's financials, not happening. And I think we came to an agreement that $6.5 million is the tops of what he's going to give to outside free agents. That's the tops. And I think it's been a minute since that happened. I want to say, I think Randall might have got like 5 or 6. Allen Hurns got a 2-year, $12 million deal. So that's 6 average. Haha, I think got like 4. Then he got cut. What did Gerald get? Gerald got like that 6.5, I think. Then that happened with Gerald and they had to cut him. So that's about where they topping off, man. 6.5 at the best. So I don't really see it happening. All right, let's review real quick before I get back into the chat. Malik Hooker, I have him being closer to best in regards to playing his best in 2021. LVE, I've got bust. I don't think he'll be his best. Doesn't mean I think he's going to be bad, but I think it'll be a bust in regards to our game we're playing today. And in regards to Dante Fowler, I think he'll be much closer to his best in Dallas. I do. I think, and he Marv said, not Dan Quinn, Robert Quinn. Hey, man, people kind of wrote Robert Quinn off. Robert Quinn's better, much better than Dante Fowler as a career pass rusher. But when I went back and watched Robert Quinn in Miami and went back to St. Louis Rams at that point, I saw some of the similar. I felt some of the same way. I shouldn't say I saw some of the similar things. I felt the same way. Like, I mean, the tools are there. it wasn't like he was washed. Like, the pass rush moves are still there for Fowler. They were still there for Quinn. Difference in Miami, and he had Wake. Don't get me wrong. There was Wake, I think, at that time in Miami. But difference is Quinn's got D-Law opposite of him consistently. And look what happened. Fowler's going to have D-Law and Micah. And hopefully a better interior. Speaking of which, I was going to include another person on this, and we'll do honorable mention real quick. Buster Best. Neville Gallimore was going to be my other guy. The reason why I didn't, because I don't think the defense is contingent on him taking this game to the next level. Not a knock on him, but I think if Neville just kind of remains Neville, I still think the defense can be good. And now, if he takes it to another level, obviously that's going to help the defense in general. But I'll say that Neville would be leaning more towards Best because it's his third year. I think his rookie year was his best year, and he didn't play much last year. So I think he will be closer to his rookie year, barring injury. So I think Neville will play closer to his best. All right, let's see what y'all saying. Toxic Tom says, Sky, random question. Do you think Stephen Jones is a good tipper? Boy, better be. Billionaire. Jose, Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Everybody will be a cat boy. Why are we mad with cat boy? He always says he won't sign free agents. Did you answer your own question? Or are you asking us, why are we mad with cat boy? Do we need to go down this road again? Do we? Jose, you know why. I know you're ultimate optimist, Cowboys 17-0, going to win the Super Bowl every year thing. I understand that, and I appreciate that. We need some of y'all. But do we really have to sit here and go down the road with Stephen Jones? I mean, the short answer is he literally does, from a team building standpoint, the three pillars: free agency, draft, and trade market. He literally does the opposite in the other two, trade market and free agency, that most of these teams, winning teams, consistent winning teams, are doing. And that's the nice way about it. That's not even arguable. Like, the facts are there. The history is there. That this way he approaches things does not help you get to the mountaintop. And I'm going to leave it at that, because we're not, we had our fun with Stephen Jones in depth wise of why this dude should not be running a football team. He's a numbers guy. Listen to him. Yeah, we got to think about 2024, 2025. What? That's your general manager signing the checks. But I digress before I go. Don't get me started. Don't get me going in on Stephen Jones. I think it's pretty cut and dry. Yes, Professor O, they are waiting until June 1st. The NFL cap stimulus check comes in. I guess people in the chat were wondering why I haven't signed anybody. Yeah, Dallas will get, what is it, y'all, $10 million? In my opinion, not that they can't do anything now. They got money to sign these guys. I don't think the extra $10 million is, in my opinion, is going to be like, oh, shoot, now we can go pay somebody $10 million per year. They could have been did that. They're probably going to sign some more veterans, and it's likely going to come in under $5 million per year. Probably. Let me see. Offer bar $9 million with incentives that reach 11. Win-win for both sides. Huh. I mean, I don't know what he was making in Atlanta. I'm sorry, in Minnesota. But I'll be annoyed, bro, if they be like, yo, here go $11 million. Could have used that $11 million for a more reliable, better player. Do I even have? I don't even have my safe word no more. Ain't that something? I think I got rid of it. How about this one?
I don't have the patience to jack with you today.
Calm down. Because if they give him $11 million, bro, you could have gave $11 million to somebody else. That's all I'm saying. I know I don't got my safe word on here. I gotta upload it. Remember, I don't think y'all remember that day where my whole entire soundboard crashed, and I'm just sitting here doing the show bucket naked. Michael H. Every time the Rams sign somebody, they're saying F Cat Boy. That's one way to do it. Not the only. The Rams are the extreme, though. I've heard that players and agents do not like Steven. I've heard that as well. That is true. That is not some like, oh, conspiracy theorist type of thing. Kevin says Parsons and then who? When Eagle fans run their mouth, just watch Eagles Cowboys first game, says Jose, and you will see how our pass rush swarmed the Eagles O-line. Yeah, I'm not getting into that banter no more. We've addressed it plenty of times. Holla at me. What is it, week 3, y'all? Something like that. Week 6? Holla at me then, Philly. We swept you last year. There's nothing else to talk about. You had a good draft. Whoop de damn do. Sam, Jerry wants to win the Super Bowl. Yeah. Or the Senior Bowl. I thought you said Super Bowl. Jerry wants to win the Senior Bowl. He said at least Steven is honest. Give a damn about no honesty, man. Probably looking at a $6 million per year range. Professor, I think he's talking about Barr. And that's about the cap, right? Like, that's right about where Dallas, I think, will cap things off. Sure. I told you, beggars can't be choosers. Even if they do sign him, whoever it was that made that comment, to $11 million, well, I'll be annoyed because somebody could have used it to somebody else. Yeah, but that has passed. Can't cry over spilled milk. You still need that depth, right? And I'm still, whether I don't feel as good as I did last year or feels good because of the way the offseason went, I'm still about winning this season. I'm still about making moves to get better. And there's still opportunity to do that. Going to get depth at linebacker. If you want to beef up the interior defensive line, depth on the offensive line, depth at safety, do all these things. Do what you got to do to continue to get better. He always talks about 365 is talent acquisition. Well, prove it. Prove it. All right, we got a few more minutes and we're wrapping up this show here. TC915, if they pay Barr that much and didn't want to pay Wagner, I'm effing done, bro. They could have done something better if they didn't tag. Where's my button?
I don't have the patience to jack with you today.
We opening up wounds. I said I'm gonna move forward. But you're right. He ain't lying. Yeah, Sam, you definitely want to go get Debo. That ain't happening, brother. Greetings from Mexicali, BC, Mexico. Shout out to you, Eduardo. That's what I love about Cowboys Nation. It ain't Cowboys Nation. It's Cowboys Global at the end of the day. Jaw says, you think the boys are waiting for a training camp cut to sign another player? No, I don't think they're waiting for a training camp cut. It's very possible, like Professor O said, they're waiting until they get that extra bread. Even though I personally don't think it matters, but they could be waiting for that. Steve could be like, $25 million now. This looks pretty. Let's go sign a guy for $3 million. But that's possible. Once cuts happen, a veteran might get cut and Dallas might say, hey, let's go get him. And I'm specifically looking at tackle. Talked to Dave Hellman the other day. By the way, run that back if you haven't. Dave Hellman talked about we're in alignment in our thought process with the offensive tackle. I think we could get to July and August and they could be like, hey, Jerry, you think we can go get a swing tackle here? I mean, really love Willetsko and what he could potentially be. Josh Ball, potentially. But I'm not comfortable. So I think that could be what happens around that time and they go get a swing tackle. Yeah, you're putting in the salt in my wounds. Please don't. Marcus B, the speed in the middle of the field is crazy. It will be hard to throw the ball at us. Are you talking about Jabril Cox and Micah Parsons? I can't wait for camp, y'all, because I really want to get this under. Like, what are we going to do here? Is LVE even going to start? Will Jabril Cox take a hold of that starting role, or are they going to say, nah, we'll just use you as a third down guy? Because me personally, I rip the Band-Aid off. It'll be Micah. It'll be Jabril Cox, and let's roll. Give me the athleticism out there. I think Micah's going to help make anybody better anyway. Jason says, how do you feel about the wide receiver core? It hasn't changed for me. As the season starts, it's a sour spot as the season starts. You know, it's one of those things where I think we're going to have to rely a little bit on a 12 to start off. The running game is really going to have to be hitting. And we'll need the young bucks to step up. Jalen Tolbert is going to have to step up. James Washington is going to have to be more than a wide receiver 3 for this team. I'm not down on it because when you get Michael Gallup back, I do think you have a pretty solid room, a good enough room to get it done. But to start the season, it is a concern for me. It is a concern. I thought the depth was just fantastic last year. Think about it. Cooper, Gallup, Lamb, Said, and then Noah was your 5th wide receiver. We're being technical. Simi and Noah are probably going to have to see snaps if somebody gets hurt or somebody gets dinged or they go in certain packages, et cetera, et cetera. So the depth I am down on, but once Michael Gallup gets back, I'll feel better about it. Yeah, no one cares. South Tex. Professor O, we need a vet swing tackle. Bring in Sam Tevi or someone like that. Not exciting, but gives you insurance and is only 27. I agree. We need one. All right, let's wrap up this show. It's been a fantastic show. We talked about 3 of the veterans on this defense that I think needs to level up their play for this defense to maintain, right? We know about regression to the mean that happens from top-end defenses one year to another. But if you want to be considered a defensive team or you want to be considered a team that your fans can trust your defense year in, year out, it's about being consistent. Going to need LVE, going to need Fowler, going to need Hooker to level up. I missed your super chat. See, I'm glad y'all be bringing that up at the end of the show. So I can go in here in case I missed anybody's super chat. Then we'll get out of here. Appreciate you for the $2 donation, Tom.
Super chat.
Sky, Ryan Naw, show incoming, hashtag MVP. No. Man, he better not make this team. You know what? I'm just waiting to camp. Maybe Ryan Naw is the next Moose. Who knows? Love you, Toxic, man. Appreciate you. All right, make sure y'all tune in later tonight. Mo will be back in the building, A to Z Sports Prime Time. Hit up A to Z Sports Dallas and do me a favor on your way out of here. Hit the like button if you haven't, if you're new in here. I know we got a lot of new people that's been joining the channel. I appreciate that, man. Hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. You know, that's all I ask. It's easy. That's the free way to support. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and share it to all your Cowboys friends and family. And I think they'll enjoy the show, man. They'll enjoy the show. Become part of the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
Drop them emojis, Bomb Squad, as we head up out of here. Y'all the best. Y'all the best. Be back tomorrow, 8:15-ish, talking John Ridgeway, rating the draft. I can't wait for that one. Wait for that one. Go Mavs and Cowboys. Yeah. Big Mavs fan this tonight. Love y'all. We out here. Peace.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya.